start by grounding energy. Just come and find your comfortable seat. Just start to close your eyes and drop into your breath. Making your breath longer in time and longer in the body. And start to deepen your breath like a soft whisper at the back of your throat. So giving your mind something to pay attention to. An audible whisper sounding breath. So notice your start point. What you're working with today. In your body and in your mind. And notice, if at all, the two are related. How we make sense of the world around us starts from within us. So it's important to revisit our internal workings from time to time to notice, to see, is there imbalance, is there stagnation? And also to help us stay present to growth when it shows up. Our intent for our practice today is to examine our holding patterns. Where are we holding in the body? And that can show up as tightness, as resistance, maybe sometimes as pain. Our bodies adopt a shape that reflects our thoughts and emotions. So when we want to change or repattern, we start with our body. It's just easier than the mind. So set that as your intent now, or if it's not speaking to you, then choose something different. You can keep the eyes closed for our pranayama today, but we're going to shift the gaze to the third eye, so the space in the middle of the forehead with your eyes closed. So our pranayama today is going to kind of help us to create more space and start to release a little bit in the body. So we're basically going to just inhale for as long as possible. And do that now with your next inhale. Inhale for as long as possible. When you've reached your max, try to sip in just a little more air. Show yourself that you can actually expand a little bit more. Hold the breath, and then when you can't hold it anymore, exhaling for as long as possible. And when you've thought that you've breathed all of the air out, try to exhale just a little bit more air out. And just repeat, inhaling for as long as possible. Sip in just a little bit more air when you're at your max. Hold the breath, and then exhaling all the air out. And then can you exhale a little bit more once you've finished? So keep going with that, just 2 more rounds. Starting right here, right now, with our intent. Creating space by expanding and repatterning our breath. Noticing any changes that are starting to happen, any shifts, any holding that's softening. Without changing this breath, we're going to shift into Janu Sirsasana. So your left leg is going to fold in, and your right leg is going to extend out towards the side. So activate the toes on your right foot. So we're going to take a side bend here in Janu Sirsasana. So the right hand comes to the inside, and the left hand can come behind you, grabbing hold of your clothing or the inner thigh if you can reach. Start to relax your head and your neck. And you can even walk that right hand further down towards the foot if you have more space to go. Lean back over your own forearm and try to tuck your tailbone a little bit here. Not like tucking so much, but just tucking a little bit so that you can really feel a difference in the opening in your side waist. And then relax your head and your neck one more time. Breathing into front of shoulder. And then take that left arm and reach it up and overhead for a side bend. Really reach through the fingertips. Relaxing your head and neck once again. Sometimes when we move our hand position, we can kind of tense up in our neck a little bit. So just reminding your neck to relax. And continuing to work with that breath of increasing your inhales and your exhales. Lower the hand down. Actually, we're going to come to freeing the front foot for Janu Shirshasana. So you start to pull the heel of your hand back. Inhale, breathing in, space between the ribs and the hips. And then exhale, start to fold. So relax your head and your neck, but try to feel for your upper back. What's happening there? Is it rounding? Try to find length starting from your low back. Good adjustments, everyone. And as you breathe in, just drag the heel of your hand back, drag your ribs through your hands. Starting to release a little bit here in the back and hamstrings. And then roll on up. And we're going to move our feet into Marichyasana A. So this foot, your left foot is going to come step down. There's going to be about a fist or two fists in between. And we're going to fold, bless you, we're going to fold to the inside of the left leg. So it's a different kind of fold. Now, if you have more to go here, you can take your left hand and wrap it behind your shin. And if you have more to go, you can try to grab the other hand. It's a little strange. But whichever way you're going, if your hands are down or if they're wrapped, the goal is to get more space and length in the upper back rather than rounding. Good. Yes, Rhonda, exactly. So working that. It's more important that you have a long spine and more space than it is to get your nose to your knee. Feel your left sit bone moving back rather than forward. Good. Breathing in. And then exhale, slowly release, and then we'll switch it out. We'll find Janu Shirshasana on the other side. So left leg comes out. Left hand wraps behind you. Right hand wraps behind you. And then slowly start to lean back and relax your head and your neck. So you can use your left hand on the floor to help turn your ribs to the side. And just experiment with the pelvis and the shape and where your pelvis is at, your sacrum. So either tucking your tailbone slightly rather than sticking it out. See what feels like more of a release for your right side ribs. Try to make your exhales longer. And then reach your right arm up and overhead for side bend. Bless you. Relax your head, relax your neck. Reach through the fingertips of the top arm. Notice any tightness here and see if you can take a very deep breath into that spot. For me, all of the ribs on my right side are just feeling like they don't want to move. They're just stuck together. So using your breath, sending it to the space between them. And then lower that right hand down to come frame the front foot. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, ribs away from the hips. Exhale, fold. And try to emphasize the twist here. So the right ribs moving slightly to the left. So you can still feel that opening in the right side body. You can also take your right hand and put it to the outside of that leg and see if that helps you feel for the twist a little bit more. Because this pose is really a twist. Because the torso is moving in a different direction than the hips. You can walk your hands back. Ooh. I got like stuck there. And then set your left foot down. Right leg extends long for Marichyasana A. So 2 arm positions, hugging that knee in towards your shoulder. Good. Or you can start to wrap around. And it's okay to keep a soft bend in your left knee. Rather that than overextending or locking the knee. It's important to focus on what you can do in this moment, because everyone is working with a different mindset, a different body. We're all working with different bodies every other day. So walk your hands back, slowly release, and make your way onto your backs for abdominals. Yay. So grab a hold of your prop, have it nearby. We're just going to start with elbow to knee. So pick your feet up, shins parallel to the ground, waking up our energy in our bellies. Elbows come in. Inhale, deep breath into the low back. Exhale, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground. See if you can exhale out just a little bit more. Hold the breath. Press your low back down and scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, extend your left leg up. Lift your elbows up and pull the low belly muscle down. Inhale, bend the knee and come on back. See if you can lengthen your inhale just a little bit more. Hold the breath. Press your low back down and lift your tailbone up. Exhale, extend the right leg up. Lift your elbows up. Exhale out just a little bit more and pull your low belly muscle down. Inhale, bend both knees, come back to center, hold your breath. Press the low back down, lift the tailbone. Exhale, extend your left leg up. Keep exhaling. Exhale out just a little bit more and then pull your low belly muscle down. Inhale, bend the knee, come back to center, hold the breath, press the low back down, lift the tailbone. Exhale, extend your right leg up. Lift your elbows up and pull the low belly muscle down. Inhale, bend the knee, come back to center, switching it up a little bit. Hold the breath, press your low back down, lift the tailbone. Exhale, extend your left leg out at about a 45-degree angle. If you have low back pain, just lift your leg up. Bring your elbows outside of your right knee. Keep exhaling and pull the low belly muscle down. Good. Inhale, bend the knee, come back to center. Keep inhaling. Hold the breath. Press the low back down. Lift the tailbone. Exhale, extend the right leg out, about a 45-degree angle. Keep exhaling as you turn your elbows outside of that left leg and pull the low belly muscle down. Inhale, bend the knee, come back to center. Hold the breath. Press the low back down. Lift the tailbone out. Exhale, extend your left leg out. Keep exhaling as you bring your elbows outside of your right knee and then pull your low belly muscle down. Inhale, bend the knee, come back to center. Hold the breath. Press the low back down, lift the tailbone. Exhale, extend the right leg out. Keep exhaling, turn your elbows outside of your left knee and pull the low belly muscle down. Inhale, bend the knee, come back to center. Hold the breath. Hold your tailbone up, lift your tailbone. Exhale, extend your left leg out. Bring your elbows outside of your right leg. Keep exhaling and pull the low belly muscle down. Inhale, bend both knees, lower the feet, lower your head down, and just breathe into your belly. It was a long one. Start to notice any changes in your mind, and your body, and your energy. Pick up your right leg and start to walk your hands up your leg, gently pulling the leg towards you. It's okay to keep a bend in the knee. Breathe into the back of the leg. Gently pulling that knee and that shin towards your face. Just feeling for the opening. Start to take that leg across your body now. So not yet falling into the twist, but just enough so that you start to feel an opening in the outer right leg. So some people say it's like the IT band or just the outer hamstring. I don't know. Take one more breath in. Inhale, your deepest, and sip in a little more air at the top. Hold. Exhale completely. And then exhale a little more out as you drop your right knee to the ground for a twist. You can keep that leg straight or you can find a bend in the knee. For a little self-assist, you could take your left hand to the crease of your right hip and start to roll that hip out and down, finding a little more space from that hip to the torso. Come back to center, and then switch it out. Place your right foot down, lift your left leg up, and start to walk your hands up your leg. Gently pulling the leg towards your face. Calling to mind that there's a difference between forcing and engaging. So we want to be engaged but not forcing. Especially when we're working mobility or flexibility, we want to make sure that there's strength to back it up. Start to take that left leg over to the side, just enough until you feel the opening in the outer hamstring or the IT band of the left leg. And just stay here for a couple breaths and breathe before going into the twist. Finally releasing that leg down and finding the twist here. Try to get your left shoulder blade to roll down to the ground. It's more important that your left shoulder blade makes its way to the ground than it is your left knee to the ground. Take a very deep breath in. Feel yourself expand. And exhaling, make your way onto your back and grab a hold of your prop and place it snug in between your pubic bone for twisting abs with this prop. So you can keep your feet down or pick your feet up or straighten your legs. If your feet are down, you're going to press your feet into the earth. But if your legs are up, squeeze your prop. The cues are pretty much the same. Lock your hands back behind your head and breathe in. Exhale, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground. Keep exhaling and lightly squeeze the prop. Shift your elbows outside of your left knee or left leg and pull the low belly muscle down. Inhale, come back to center. Breathing in, sipping in just a little more air. Light squeeze on the prop. Exhale, bring the elbows outside of the right leg. Pull the low belly muscle down. Can you lift your right shoulder blade up just a little bit higher? Good. Inhale, bend, come back to center. Deep breath into the low back. Exhale, bring the elbows outside of your left leg. Pull the low belly muscle down and lift the elbow, the left elbow and the left shoulder up off the ground. Inhale, come back to center, elbows to center. Light squeeze on the prop. Exhale, bring the elbows outside of the right knee. Lift your elbows and your shoulder, light squeeze on the prop, and pull the low belly muscle down. One more like that. Inhale, come back to center. Light squeeze on the prop. See if you can sip in just a little more air. And then bring the elbows outside of your left leg. Keep pulling your low belly muscle down as you lift your elbows and your shoulder blade. Inhale, come back to center. Squeeze the prop. Exhale, bring the elbows outside of the right leg. Lift your elbows and your shoulder. Pull the low belly muscle down.
Inhale, come back to center, place your feet down and lay your head down. Take a very deep breath into your low back. And then exhale, press into the feet and lift the hips. We'll just take a couple breaths in bridge just to counter that and to release the back. Light squeeze on the prop. Try to soften your butt muscles. And by that, I mean see if you can engage your lower legs, your shins, and your feet to hold you up. Deep, deep breath into the belly. And then exhale, lower your upper, your middle, and your lower back whilst keeping a light squeeze on the block. Remove your block. And then make your way to hands and knees. We're setting up for dolphin with the hands clasped. So many of you guys have done this 100 times with me. So measure out. And clasp your hands. You can also choose to not clasp your hands, but I always like to have a little bit more support when starting this. Relax your head down, tuck your toes under. It's totally fine to stay here, but we're gonna work with straightening the backs of the hamstrings. So start to straighten the backs of the legs. And for this dolphin, walk the feet wide, like as wide as your yoga mat. Bend your knees and pike your hips up. So you might feel like your chest moving towards your thighs. Really nice, everyone. And then if you feel open, you can start to work the heels down. Take some very deep breaths here and see if you can make your breath longer and more audible. Lower the knees down and make your way to the top of the mat. Just taking a moment to notice any differences from the start of this practice and where you are. Sometimes it takes a little bit for us to really take stock of what we're working with, and it might be completely different from what you walked in here as. And it might not be, and that's okay. Inhale, sit your hips back to chair pose. Breathing in, stay for an extra breath, and then exhale, fold over the legs. Keeping the knees bent if you need to. Inhale, find length in the spine, and then exhale, step your feet back to a plank. Inhaling in your plank, rounded upper back. Exhale, lower the knees down or lower in one piece, keeping the knees off through your chaturanga. Slide your hands forward for low cobra, about 8 inches. Press into the thighs and the tops of the feet. Inhale, pull forward first to come up. And then exhale, squeeze the elbows together, lower the shoulders down. Keep pulling your ribs forward as you lay all the way down. Hands underneath the shoulders, downward facing dog. Send the hips up and back. Same thing in your dog too, like you can widen your feet as we did in dolphin. There's a little less, this is a little like kinder to the low back with the feet wide. Step your left foot forward for lunge, high lunge with the back knee lifted. So in this lunge, I want you guys to work on sinking the hips really low and maybe the back knee bends slightly. So we're getting more of a stretch in the front of the leg. I'm not gonna do this because I pulled my groin really bad and I think this kind of accentuates that. So I'm just gonna sit here. Extend and reach your arms up. And think about pulling your ribs away from your hips. Like feel yourself get longer. Beautiful. Reach through the fingertips as the hips sink low, reaching the ribs up.
Softening the gaze. Really nice, everyone. Take one more breath and see if you can really stretch out your inhale. And then exhale completely, lower the back knee down for twisting lunge. So the back knee is in line with the hip, and then we're gonna twist with the elbow to the thigh. So it's not this necessarily, it's this. So you see how my ribs are up instead of crunched in, finding more space. So making a fist with the bottom hand, and then starting to turn the right ribs, the under rib, all the way up. Relax your head and your neck. And lean away from your left leg, if at all possible. Press into the top of the back foot and the back shin to hold you up. Wide straddle, forward fold. Release the hands and start to walk the hands to the right side of the mat, the long side of the mat. Fold over the legs. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head, lengthening crown of the head down. And just like we did in Janu Shirshasana in the warm-up, can you bring your awareness to the upper back? Can you start to lengthen through the upper back? Shift the weight into the big toes just a little bit more. See if you can relax your brain. In your next exhale, walk your hands around to the front of the mat and step it back to a plank position. Lower down through chaturanga all the way down to the floor. Slide your hands forward for low cobra. Pull forward to come up. Press into the backs of the thighs and the feet. And then squeeze the elbows together, draw the shoulders down, and pull forward to come all the way down. Hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Step your left foot forward for high lunge, so the back knee is lifted. The hands can come to frame that front foot. They can come onto blocks, or they can reach all the way up. And move slowly. Try to take stock of what you're working with. And really listening to that. Can you sink the hips just a little bit lower and lift the ribs up and away from your pelvis? Good. Softening the gaze, softening through the shoulders. So engaging what needs to be engaged and relaxing what needs to be relaxed. When the intensity builds, where is your support system? Lower the back knee down for twisting lunge. So it's our right foot. We're going to take our left hand, our left elbow comes to the top of the thigh, twist it out. So rather than coming snug in, see if you can bring your elbow to the top of the thigh and lean back. And see if that opens up a different area. Where am I? I'm going the wrong way.
I think we forgot to do the right side lunge. We did left lunge again. Looks like we're twisting lunge. We can start again. Should we go to right lunge?
Wait, I'm so confused.
Yeah, we did.
We did the left side
Yes.
again?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all right. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. We'll do the high lunge.
Start
Yeah, I'm sorry, let's just start again.
That happens.
But they were beautiful lunges, and I was really into it. And no one noticed until poor Minnie Kim noticed.
I noticed.
It was so
being
funny.
quiet. I was like,
so
go
focused.
with it.
Okay, so it's our right foot forward, high lunge with the right foot forward.
Yeah. I like my left foot forward
I
better.
actually probably
That's
said
why you're-
left because I was avoiding this was the muscle that I pulled. So then subconsciously I was like, I can't do that one. I have to do the other one.
That's why she.
So
Otherwise you'd
sinking
be
the
on it.
hips down, reaching up through the hands, reaching up through the ribs, relaxing the upper body as best as possible, and letting the legs literally just do the leg work, squeezing the inner legs together. Sip in a little more air at the top of your inhale. And then exhale, really exhale it all out. Drop the back knee down. Now we'll move into twisting lunge with the right foot forward. Oh, thank you for catching that. I never would have known. Press the top of the back foot into the mat and the back shin into the mat. So let that back leg really support your torso turning. You can also press down with the right foot, lift and spread the toes, activate the feet. Leaning away from that front knee. Wide straddle forward bend, walk the hands to the long side of the mat and find a fold. So before you go all the way down, we're gonna incorporate a twist here. So hands come just in front of the heart. Move your right hand so that it's in line with the sternum, and then lift your left arm up. So bring that hand to the top of your sacrum. So you don't want your sacrum turning, you just want your torso turning. And you may have to heel toe your feet in just a little bit if you feel like it's too hard to not turn your sacrum. We really want to be twisting and turning from your upper back, not your lower back. Relax your head and your neck. And if you want, you can wrap that left arm behind your back, grabbing hold of clothing or the right inner hip. And use your own forearm as an assist, a self-assist, to lean back and finding more twist and turn in the upper back. Slowly release and switch it out. So left hand comes to the center of the chest, reach the right arm up. Relax your head down. You can do the same thing, bringing the hand to the sacrum or wrapping it around. Slowly release and step it back to a plank position. Inhale in your plank. And then exhale, bend the elbows in towards the sides and lower all the way down to the floor. We'll do another cobra. This time you can keep your hands underneath your shoulders if you wish, or you can slide them about 8 inches forward. Inhale to pull the heels of the hands towards you. Beautiful, everyone. Shoulders come down the back and then pull forward to come all the way down, feeling all sorts of length in your back. Really nice. Downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Step your left foot forward for warrior one, twisting warrior. So it's like what we did in the lunge. Or option to do easy twisting warrior. And just feel how it's different to have your back knee up. Bonza. Go this one. So like go this way. Oh. Yes. No, that's okay.
It's a little long. I was wondering what it was.
Engage that back leg. Pyramid pose, frame the front foot. And you may have to reset that back leg. It's coming in slightly. So pyramid pose is one of those poses where you want to have more space and length throughout the back so that you're extending your spine and trying to avoid rounding as much as possible.
So your inhales make you longer, and then your exhales get your torso to your thigh. Blocks are great to use here on either side, and just go gentle with this. And just feel for letting everything go. You can soften the front knee if you need to. And we're taking this into standing split. So walking the hands forward, back leg comes off the ground. So if you feel a little bit off balance, you can walk your hands like 10 inches forward of the foot. And then as you get more opening in the back of the leg, then you can start to walk the hands back towards the toes. Engage your right butt cheek and your right quad. See if that can get your right leg a little bit higher. Step the leg back, come onto your hands and your knees. We're moving into dolphin with one leg up. So measure out. You can either do this with your hands clasped or palms down. Tuck the toes under, drop your head. From this dolphin, you really can't do it with wide leg, so you need to bring your feet together. We're going to start with the left leg. So lift the left leg up. Whichever variation. Sometimes hands clasped just gives a little bit more support. So just feel for what feels good in your body. Really nice, everyone. Take one more breath in. And then exhale. Move into a downward facing dog. And we'll do that on the other side. So this time it's the right leg that comes forward for warrior one. So back foot is back heel is down. And we're twisting this way for twisting lunge. Option to do easy twisting lunge. Really press your elbow into the top of your thigh and lean your torso away from your knee. And we're just opening up the sides of our waist. Frame your front foot. Standing split. Walk your hands forward, lifting your back leg. And start with this, right? And then you can start to walk your hands back, the more you feel like you have the space to fold deeper. It's a deep fold. Thank you, Amanda. We forgot pyramid pose, so we are going to step our lifted leg back into pyramid pose and do pyramid. They both work. Blocks are great to have on either sides of you. Play with the space between your feet. So typically maybe 3 feet is typically good, but see what works for you. You can soften the front knee as much as you need to. Trying to find more space and length in the back rather than hunching and rounding. Did you do standing split now? Just do it, yeah, exactly. Breathing into pyramid. I'm like sequencing challenge today, or memory challenge today, so I apologize.
It happens with twists.
It does. Luckily, it kind of works in this sequence because it's not like we're doing like open hip to close, but it's still, and then make your way to all fours for dolphin. So hands clasped again, or palms flat. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up. So if you're gonna be lifting one leg, you can stay here. If you're gonna be lifting one leg, bring the feet together first, and then it's the right leg that lifts. And just notice here, with only 3 points of contact to the ground, what's happening to your balance? Are you compensating in one area of the body? Nice, Lori. Keep that focus. Good. There you go. And then lower down, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Step your left foot forward for extended twisting lunge. So we did this. Some of you did this. Now we're gonna do this. So coming in a little bit closer. A block is great to have here. And this pose can go in stages. So we have a block. You can also bring your hand up and overhead. Good. Really feel for your upper back. What's happening in the space behind your heart. Relax your head and your neck. If you have more to go, you can find a half bind with the top arm. And if you have more to go, you can find the full bind with the bottom arm. So here's my palm, it's facing out. It's gonna come underneath and then it's gonna come up and grab for the other hand. But I mean, you can also hold on to your clothes maybe. Or maybe like I can get this. Something for you to hold on. So, okay. Yes, good. Lean back more. That's it. So the more you lean back here, you'll feel. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, just breathe really, really deeply. So whenever we do these twisting lunges, I'm saying lean back away from the leg. So that's for these like intense poses. When you want to like get the binds, it's like almost counterintuitive. You're like, I have to come in closer, but you actually, by leaning back, you'll actually have more access. Anyway, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
From here, extend both legs for pyramid. This time we're gonna incorporate a little bit of a twist. So the hands are gonna come outside of the foot. I don't want that to mean that your body sways. I want that to mean your bottom half is stable, your front half is turning slightly. This will prepare us for where we're going. Or you can just do regular pyramid. Whatever is feeling intuitive. And just start to feel for your outer left leg. Return the hands to center, moving into twisting triangle. So I'll show you the two ways. One way is having a block to the inside, to the right side of the left leg. And you're gonna lift your left arm up. The other way, if you wanna come in a little bit closer, is having a hand to the inside. You'll feel more here if the block is to the outside of that right leg. And then lifting and turning. So what I want you guys to do is start with your left hand on your sacrum. So I want you to feel the stability in your sacrum, that bone right above your butt. And then work to extend the arm. So you want the sacrum to be stable. Relax your head and your neck. Take note of your stance too. You may have to shorten the stance or widen the stance.
Squeeze the inner legs together. Then step the feet together at the top of the mat, and we're gonna come up for standing balance. So we're gonna start with the left leg either here or here. This is harder, so just come straight up. Grabbing your toe, leg, anything you need. If you're here, I'm just gonna show you guys so that when we're doing it, you can focus and not have to look at me. So when we're here, we're gonna start to turn the torso. If you're extended, you're gonna start to work your hands to the outside and then turn the torso and maybe look back. Basic rule of thumb, change one thing at a time. Don't just go right into it. Set your gaze, let it be soft, let it be steady. Start to work with either the bent knee in, or you can play with lifting the leg, using the belly, reaching for the toes. Plug your left shoulder back. And then working into the twist. You can also work from the twist with the bent knee. And then work to extend. Let your gaze be soft. Beautiful. Start to release, come back to center. Take a forward fold. Widen your feet. Just dangle your head, shake it out, shake your head, shake your arms. And then step your left foot back for extended twisting lunge. So you guys will be facing this way. So I'll go through the steps. You'll have a block to the outside of this foot. You're gonna start with your right arm up. You can also reach it up and overhead. Then you're gonna find the half bind with the right arm behind you. And if you want, your palm starts by facing the wall, the right wall. It comes underneath, and then it grabs a hold of the other palm. The key is that your torso must be leaning back versus crunching in. Slowly release the pyramid pose. So the pyramid that we did on the other side was the left hand comes outside the right leg. So this will help you feel more of a twist in the left side ribs. Twisting triangle. So grab a hold of your block, place it outside of your right foot or to the inside. Start with your hand, your right hand on your sacrum. Start to turn your torso to the right. And then when you feel stable, lift that right arm. Keep turning your torso. Really nice, Jessica. And breathe into the shoulders. So twists are one way that we stoke our digestive fire. So not only are we trying to create space in an otherwise constricting situation, but we are also cleansing and helping to release what's stuck and stagnant by practicing twists. Slowly release, and step your feet together at the top of the mat for standing balance. So same series that we did on the other side, just with your right leg. So you can start with your knee in towards your chest, or if you want a little bit of challenge, try lifting your leg without bending and reaching for the foot. Your hands can go anywhere. If you're here, you're working here, and then maybe you can slowly start to extend. Plugging your elbows back into this, your shoulders back into shoulder blade. Change one thing at a time. So from here, you're going to start to bring your left hand around to the pinky toe side of the foot, and then turn. So this is twisting triangle. This is extended twisting lunge. This is pyramid with the hands outside of the front leg. And when you're ready, make your way. It's okay. Sometimes balance is just not there. It's like,
Not today.
it's okay. Come onto your seat. And we'll find Paschimottanasana. So extend your legs out. Start to walk your hands forward. Sometimes a strap can be really nice, or if you have like a sweatshirt or even like a sock to like hold, bring around your feet so that you can pull your torso. A towel is great, Ken. Keep pulling your torso down. You can also work, if you want to make it more challenging, work with the block. It's like I really feel my hamstrings. Roll on up. Fold your right leg in. And we're gonna work heron pose. So this thing that we did on our backs, we're gonna work sitting up. You can also keep this leg extended. A soft bend in the left leg is okay. Try not to force. Twisting triangle from seated. So your right hand is going to come outside of the foot, and you're going to start to turn your torso to the right. Yes, exactly. Not to the right, to the left. I'm just doing opposite you, so sometimes it's hard. If anybody wants to play with side crow here, like you can totally do that if you feel like you want to like play with an arm balance, because that would just be like here. Because we have done so much of this pose, but we did a little bit of core. We didn't really do a lot of chaturangas and stuff. So man, good. Lift your hips up, widen your hands a lot if you can. That other hand too, good. Yeah. Good, Lori. Keep shifting the weight forward, look forward. Good, look forward. Keep extending through the crown of the head. That's gonna change. Good, look at your spine, it's so long. Very good. Good. Let's switch it out. So let's go the other way. If you're playing with something, keep playing with it. We're going to start with extending the right leg up. Right, left hand comes outside of the foot, and find the twist here. Stay here, or if you want to play with the arm balance, the hands are gonna come outside. It's actually kind of harder to do it from sitting, so you might wanna come up a little bit. And then the hands come by. My hands are like as wide as my yoga mat. And pick my hips up and then I
sit down on my own elbows. Gaze shifts forward. So I'm shifting, I'm lengthening through my spine, really, to come up.
Keeping the gaze forward. Amanda, can you get the other, this here? Can you get, like, when you sit on your hands, could you get your other, just because it's easier to make like a shelf
Yeah.
for your,
This one?
yes, so both elbows into your leg. Yes, and then lean your weight forward, look forward. Just sit on your own elbows. And keep leaning forward, good, keep lengthening through the spine. Good. Yes, and then your feet will come off eventually, once you get like the hang of that, you know?
Okay.
But it's always
Both
easier
ways,
to
okay.
start with like a shelf for your leg.
Wide.
Yes. No, I know. That's actually harder because you only have one point of contact, but here you have two.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, make your way onto your backs. That's enough of that. We're gonna just do one more twist if you feel like you need it. And then I want you guys to end with the Burrito Karani, which is just your legs up for 10 breaths. Just some way to get our legs up because we've been on our feet. You can stay here for as long as you need. If anyone would not like a Shavasana assist, please place one hand on your belly or your heart, one or two hands. It's just basically an essential oil here from the store. A little bit of a neck adjustment, or shoulder adjustment. So when you're ready, lower everything down to the earth. And take up space in your Shavasana, like widen your hands away from your body, widen your feet as much as you can, and just feel really heavy in the Shavasana.
into the body, stretching, gentle rock of the head from side to side. And keeping the eyes closed, make your way to a seated position. The hands in prayer pose. Slight tuck of the chin, gaze towards the heart, closing the eyes. How we make sense of the world comes from within us. So much gratitude and appreciation for all of you for sharing your practice with me today, but also for having the courage to re-examine our holding patterns and having the courage to change and pivot